this is the way we do things, then the people who don't want to do things that way kind of self-select out. So, at least in my gym, it was not like, I don't want to say it was a dictatorship a little bit, but like when the coach was talking, that's the only thing going on.
Yeah.
And nobody else is coaching. If you're a member, you're not a coach.
Yeah.
So if somebody was, have a they have a kind of a different idea of how they want to do things, and they're telling other people they should be doing them that way. It's like, whether you're right or wrong, that's not the way that you go about it.
Yeah.
So it's like something like that, where if somebody's like, trying to reprogram the workout for everybody, it's just like it's a 100% zero tolerance. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And those people, and I've had those people, and they do self-select out, because if you stick firm to that, and say like, that's not the way we do things, and you show them it's like, I'm not budging on this, either they fall in line, or they're like, I'm going to go some other place where I can like impose my will on, a weak coach or something like that.
Isn't that the best music to your ears too when that happens? We've had a lot of people over the years self-select out. I think there's only been 1 or 2 members we've had here where we were like, look, like this, we're just not the right fit for you. And, it's one of those things where it can be like, it's us, or it's
right.
you.
And you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah, you don't have to be a jerk about it. And it's not necessarily that you don't like that person. It's just the fact that like, it's not jiving, like any relationship, and you direct them to like, hey, there's a lot of other gyms in this area. Like, and if there's someone that isn't enjoying their experience, I mean, maybe they'll enjoy their experience better at a different place.
Right.
But I agree with you. I think it's important to have those conversations early too, if you can.
Yeah.
Hopefully they self-select and just.
Yeah. It's easier when they self-select.
Yeah.
And the more you get the right people in there, the less the wrong people will want to be there.
Agreed. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
And so early on, it's probably harder, but once you kind of build up a membership base of the types of people that you want to have there, they attract more of the right people, and they repel the wrong people.
That's a great point. Yeah, I agree with 100% with that. I don't think some of these people would have self-selected had it not been for having the right people, that core group in place to show them like, this is what the culture is going to be like. You can either adapt or leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to just everybody is being fluid all the time with, we're cool with whatever.
Yeah. And there is turnover in gyms. That's just the way it goes. People leave. My gym was near an Air Force base, so we had people who would get deployed and, or have to move and stuff like that. But if you can get that core group of people who gets the vision and who gets what they're supposed to be doing and what they're working towards, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. And you said when you took over, you had about 30 members, right?
Yeah, it was not very many, because there was a long transition period where nobody knew what was going on, so a lot of people left.
That's tough to deal with. For the member side, I'm saying like that uncertainty of knowing like, well, what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to the gym?
Yeah, and I don't blame them at all. I mean, you have to do what's right. Like if you're, for you, yes, the community matters, but if you think that community is disintegrating, and it looked like it was, you got to do, you have to find a new place to work out.
Yeah. So what did you end up building up back to after you took over? And for the people that don't know, you took over while you were still in school in KC. So like, that's even harder. You're not even there for the first initial transition.
Yeah.
So when you got back, kind of walk us through like the steps you took to grow the community back up, how big you grew it to, the change in location, what made you decide to do that? I know we talked earlier about that before the podcast. So if you can kind of...
Yeah, and so we didn't build it up to anything that was like objectively crazy. We didn't have like 300 members. I think we got it up to, towards the end of the gym was more like 75, 80 members.
So almost tripled then.
Yeah, and it was good, and I was very happy with it, and like I said, it was the right people.
Yeah.
Which definitely made it hard to close,
Because you did all that in a year, right?
Year and a half.
I mean, to triple your members in a year and a half, that's really impressive. I think you got to give yourself credit for that.
No, I
appreciate
it.
That's not very
thanks.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But, I didn't really do all that much marketing. We went to competitions, and, we would get some different people who had done CrossFit before, who, wanted to switch gyms and stuff like that. It was just really slow and kind of organic word of mouth type of things. We had people who worked together. People would come in for different reasons. I achieved some level of athletic success, so there were some people.
Bro, come on.
Well,
you're amazing.
I appreciate it. But some people would come in knowing what level like I had attained, and they were like, okay, I want to train and like do this competitively.
People gravitate towards that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's some of that, and then some of it just the normal kind of like, hey, I wanted to, start CrossFit, or I wanted, New Year's resolution type thing. And then, just a matter of keeping the right people.
Would you say that most of your members were not competitive seekers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the grand majority were not. And really didn't want to like force that on anybody. I like the idea of people having like a different focus for CrossFit than just competing in CrossFit. It used to be that people would do CrossFit so that they would, further their military career like you, or they would, do it to help another sport.
Yes.
And they would have context for why they were going so stupid hard. Or, they wanted to play with their kids, or they wanted to be able to put their own roof on or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's always context. And if you're always competing, like the context of CrossFit becomes CrossFit.
Yeah.
And it's like you just get in this weird like feedback loop where it's like I always have to do more, I always have to do better, I always have to go faster, I always have to do like, whatever. So I like that, and I encourage people to have different goals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great point, is that it is easy to get caught up in just CrossFit for CrossFit's sake. And that's when people get burnt out, because once they realize they're not going to progress as far as they were hoping they were,
right,
or the competition around them is progressing faster than they are, then it's like, oh, why am I doing this? And they quit.
Yeah.
As opposed
to a lot of that.
Yeah, as opposed to just enjoying it just to enjoy it. Having it build to something else, like you said, picking up your kids, being self-sustainable for the long term.
Yeah. Or just loving the process. I mean, that's really what I love about all of this is like, I don't mind like working hard and like hitting my food numbers, or I don't mind like going to bed early, or, doing whatever. And I don't necessarily have to have it in the context of, oh, it's because I'm trying to make it to the games or whatever. It's like, I just like the process. And other people are that way as well. They're just like, I want to be the best version of me. Which, not necessarily like a super tangible goal, but, it's a very real goal for a lot of people.
Have you always had that mindset, or is that something that you've talked to coaches about, or just realized over the years that you need to change your mindset? Like, were there times where you were so focused on the goal that you forgot about just enjoying the process?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody goes through those periods a little bit. I would say last year I got lost in that a little bit. Like I was too focused on regionals as opposed to like just the day-to-day process. Like, because after I made it in 2017 and you get out on the floor and you're like, holy crap, like there are more people cheering for me like crazy loud for exercising than I ever had in 20 years of baseball.
Yeah.
You feel that feeling, and it's like I can remember that so vividly that it's like, man, I have to have that again. Like that rush is crazy. And I probably focused on that rush a little bit too much in 2017 and like kind of didn't love the process quite as much. And then, having that injury and kind of what, not necessarily even a setback, but like a little bit of like perspective. It's like, okay, get back to what you really like about this, which is doing things the right way for the sake of doing them the right way.
Yeah.
That is an end of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are definitely moments where it's like you get too focused on the goal.
Yeah, I think that's happened to me a couple times, throughout my training in CrossFit, where I'm just so dead set on this goal, because I'm a very task-oriented person, that eventually I don't enjoy certain things anymore, and I just make myself do it, because it's almost this thing of like, if I don't do it, then I'm a weak individual. You know what I mean? And so
you like judge yourself too much on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just like I know somebody else is training this hard, and that's something that's preached a lot in the military too. Is like if you're not training, somebody else is. You know what I mean? And so you gotta always be trying to get better and better and better. And I think it's almost to the point where you forget, like, hey, it's okay to just enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes you push yourself because you're just like, man, if I can suffer more than the next guy, I'm going to be better. And it's like, not the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not really. I mean, suffering, definitely you have to be good at it, but you can enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, I think it's Josh Bridges. He always like, it doesn't have to be fun to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even if it's not like, for me, a workout I would love is like, muscle ups and like double unders or something like that. It doesn't always have to be muscle ups and double unders. It can be something I hate.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm going hard and getting better, like it doesn't have to be fun to be fun.
What do you hate?
What do I hate? I don't even know. So like the stuff that I like, everybody else hates. Like I love thrusters and burpees.
You're
I
sick.
love burpees.
You're sick, man.
Not great at bench press. Don't really like bench press very much.
So you would have.
What else?
Did
There's
you freak
something
out
I
on
just
Linda?
Totally forget. No, I did fine on Linda.
Okay.
I did okay on Linda. I hadn't practiced bench like leading up to that very much, but I was just glad it wasn't a 1 rep max, so I didn't come in like almost dead last. But no, Linda was fun. Linda was hard because you do the triple threes in the morning, so like your calves and hamstrings are super crampy from running on that assault runner.
Yeah.
Like so, my last like 3 rounds of Linda, where you're running back and forth like between the bars, like I was cramping so hard in my calf.
Yeah.
Like that was the hardest part. It wasn't even the bench press.
And I guess too, it's fairly light for you compared to your 1 rep. I mean, you weigh it was 195, right?
It was 195, so it was like a true Linda for me.
Yeah, it actually was, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was pretty close.
Pretty much right dialed down. I guess most of those athletes probably weigh pretty close to the
It was
same.
pretty close for all of us.
Yeah.
They used the average of the games athletes from the year before, So
Oh, I see. I thought
that's how they
I thought
decided
was
it.
relative. Okay.
That's how they decided it, yeah.
Yeah. Going real quick back to the gym thing, though. We get on tangents.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. So you get the gym. I kind of want to talk about the decision to move from, and a lot of gyms are doing this right now, where they're moving from these garage gyms to more of this commercial side of thing. I would consider where you moved into a commercial.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a strip
real
mall.
estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the decision behind that? Because you were right on Rock Road when you
Yeah.
moved. You had a beautiful sign right there. Because I drive
Love
past.
that
I
sign.
live in Derby. Yeah, beautiful sign.
Yeah.
CrossFit Middle of the map.
Yeah.
And what led to that decision? What was the costs? Of moving into a location like that. Kind of give us the rundown of all that.
So I got super lucky in that my landlord owned both buildings at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he needed to fill that building and had just offered it to us, and that's how it came about. And we got to pay the same rent, which was great.
Whoa.
Yeah, super lucky. But we did have to pay. We had to pay a decent amount of money because there were a lot of walls in there. It used to be a dance studio, so there were different studios. So you have to pay to like knock the walls out and like repaint and do all that type of stuff. I do think it was the right decision. It was better suited for kind of like what my view of what I wanted to do was, because I think the like kind of grungy garage style building kind of leans towards attracting people who are into like old school like CrossFit, where it's like Pukey the Clown and chains on the wall and stuff like that, and doing a hero workout a week.
Puke buckets in the corner.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's kind of, and it intimidates other people who aren't super into that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have that that vibe of attracting those types of people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those types of people, but I just wanted to attract the rest of
Right, you
people
wanted to
who
be
wouldn't
more
be
inclusive.
intimidated by the surroundings. So
Yeah.
I mean that worked out really well. I forgot what the question was.
Oh, we were just talking about like changing from like a garage gym to more of a commercial.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends a little bit on your market. Like I know gyms in Kansas City that are super boutique, like CrossFit, like Memorial Hill. Very much their target membership is like, upper middle class, upper class people who are, who have a ton of disposable income, and they're willing to pay for private lessons and the best equipment and, soft tissue work from a professional, and they're not even doing it as a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So like obviously that's a great demographic to get into.
Oh, for sure.
But they're not coming to a garage.
No.
They're going to like Equinox Fitness, but it does CrossFit. Like the new like NorCal Fit locations, if you've seen those.
Yeah.
But I also know other gyms in Kansas City, like CrossFit Lee Summit, which I did an internship at, and I have a lot of friends at, and I love it. Like it is literally just a huge warehouse, and they have like 500 members. It's crazy.
Did you do an internship at for like finishing up your exercise science degree there?
That's what I did it for.
Okay. Had it? Were you getting paid at the time?
No, it was
Okay.
unpaid.
Okay.
Yeah, it was for school.
Yeah. Would you say that being an intern helped you out tremendously as a coach, or?
I think it helped me more as a business owner.
Okay.
Because I was able to pick his brain. I owned the gym at the time in Wichita.
Okay, so this was during that transition.
Exactly.
period
Yeah.
then. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say it helped me more as a business owner and understanding that side. I think my growth as a coach is a little more organic through like just doing it.
Yeah. Got to get the hours on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You can have all, yeah, and it's a cliche that you can have all, you have all sorts of certifications and be a garbage coach.
Yeah.
You just, the more you do it, the better you get.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it was nice picking that guy